Hello and welcome back to Read Becca. So today we're going to do my December TBR. I have let it get a little out of hand here, so I've got quite the pile, but I think it's actually pretty manageable. I have a week off work, there is the holiday time off, and then as well, I work in financial markets technology, and there is a general kind of slowdown for the end of the year, both at a company level and regulators tend to not like financial markets making changes around the end of the year, so there should be some maybe quiet time during the day that I can be reading. So most of this is going to be stuff I own that I'm wanting to finish up, or sequels that I want to catch up to. So it's very much a wrap up end of year TBR. I don't really care that much about it being the end of the year, but it's a good way to motivate myself to finish those sequels that I have been sitting on. But first, I have a readathon that I want to participate in, and that is the Christie's Missing Readathon, which is all about reading Agatha Christie during the period when she in fact went missing. And this is hosted by Heavy and Berna's Bookish Adventures, and so I will link all of the details down below. But my first pick is The Mousetrap by Agatha Christie, and I'm kind of fudging the first prompt a little bit. So the first prompt is to read an Agatha Christie novel, but I'm gonna skip that last word because this is a play. So I'm counting this for that prompt. The second prompt is to read something that doesn't feature Poirot or Miss Marple, and I believe this does not. And the third prompt is to read something that features bad weather, and this in fact does. It's a group of strangers stranded in a boarding house during a snowstorm, and one of them's a murder. So this play is obviously an isolated closed circle mystery, Agatha's best topic, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was so happy to find this because I could only find Murder on the Orient Express sitting on the fiction shelves, and then I went wandering through the Dewey Decimal side and found this in the play, so very, very pleased. The next prompt is for an Agatha Award winner, which are not Agatha's books herself, they're mystery awards. So what I have one of my own books, The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. This is the first Flavia de Luce novel, and this is a long-running, very well-loved country mystery series where this little girl, I think she's 11 years old, solves mysteries, and it's supposed to be very delightful. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I've had this on my shelves for a couple of years and needed to get to it, but I have not. So really, really happy to get this pushed to grab it. Then there is a prompt to read a romance, and I will obviously be reading a romance this month, but I have a buddy read planned with Chris Nell, SFF reader, and we're going to be reading a holiday romance, so I'm hoping this will count. This is Christmas with Hamish, and that is by Sophie Penhaligon. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a fun one. It's just a holiday romance with a dog, so looking forward to that one. Then jumping into my other stuff. So that's all for the readathon, I think. There is the optional prompt to watch an adaptation. I'm sure I can probably fit something in. There are many Christie adaptations, and I recently watched the most recent Murder on the Orient Express adaptation and really enjoyed it. I think most of the adaptations are great. So onto my other stuff. I guess we'll start with my other ebook. So I do want to finish up Mark Lawrence's Impossible Times trilogy. This is a sci-fi novella trilogy with time travel. I really enjoyed the first two. It's got kind of a setup a bit like Stranger Things, at least at the start. It's set in the 80s. It's got kids who play D&D and that kind of thing, but the second really, really ramps up and it gets into very timey-wimey stuff. So the first one is a lot of character setup, and then the second one is just awesome. So I'm really looking forward to finish this series because this third volume, and I think the entire series, were on sale for 99 cents on ebook all of November. So finally got this picked up and I'm ready to jump into it. So let's jump into my print pile, and first up we have my Booktube Spin selection, All My Puny Sorrows by Miriam Toews. I love Miriam Toews' work. Women Talking is one of my favorites for sure. I reread it earlier this year and loved it. And that was actually a Booktube Spin pick as well. So very happy to be picking this one up. This one is about two sisters and one of them is suicidal. So massive trigger warnings for it. I think it's about them grappling with that and mental health issues. So very heavy topic. I've heard this is really emotional, so I'm looking forward to reading it. Then we have my Hugo Award selection. Last one is Harrow the Ninth. This is my final in the novel nominees to read before the Hugo Awards. Those are in mid-December, so this will be happening very early in the month. I read and loved Gideon the Ninth. I have no idea what this is about. I've heard, I think it expands out into kind of the war, whereas the first novel was very focused on this kind of creepy old house mystery for the most part. So this is a sci-fi series, but I think this one is going to be much more sci-fi than the first was. So really looking forward to that one. So next we have the Tenseret series by Neon Yang. This is a 4-novella bind-up. I'm waffling back and forth on whether I want to do a full reread of the series, start to finish, or if I just want to get to the 4th novella, because I have not read the 4th, and that's the only one. So debating, I'm not sure, but this is a silk punk novella series. It is based in a pseudo-Asian magical world where gender is not fixed until you are an adult, and then you decide your gender. As well, there is this great magic system called tensing, where it is kind of pulling on the threads of the universe, and there are these nagas and raptors and magical beings and politics. It's a really fantastic epic series in these tiny novellas. So absolutely love this series, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it up. Then we have another Asian set one. This is The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu, and this is the second in the Three-Body Problem series. I think it's Remembrance of Earth's Past is the series name, possibly. I loved Three-Body Problem, the first novel, and this is really a first contact story that starts with the Chinese Revolution, and it's got such dense hard science, but then there is this very mind-bendy game called the Three-Body Problem, and so it's really, really strange. This is one of the most odd series I've read, but I loved it, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is one I can't believe I haven't gotten to, but it's so dense. It kind of makes sense that it keeps getting pushed back. So I need to finish this. I need to finish this. I need to get to the 3rd book as well and finish up this trilogy because I absolutely love it. Then we have one you've seen recently, by Demons Be Driven by Ash Armstrong. This is the 4th Grimlock Demon Hunter book, and I got this via the Kickstarter. It came right around Halloween, so it's a new release that I really want to get to from one of my favorite self-pub series, and that is a Monster Hunter, Demon Hunter series. So yeah, it will be some episodic adventure where Grimlock the orc is stopping baddies. And then my final, very chunky, very awesome book, The Fall of Babel by Josiah Bancroft, the end of the Books of Babel. So excited for this. So this is yet another absolute favorite series. I really have loved following Senlin's adventures up the Tower of Babel. So Senlin and his new wife, Maria, hit the Tower of Babel for their honeymoon and immediately become separated. That's the premise of the first book. And I have loved every part of this. The world building is so unique. Watching the character development is really incredible. The fact that the kind of format of each book has been completely different is amazing. So I'm just here for the ride, whatever Josiah wants to take us on in this novel. So really, really absolutely looking forward to this one, and this will be a lot of time. So this is probably gonna be my week off read. So that is what I'm looking forward to reading this month. Hopefully I can get to that. I would like to get to even more than that. We'll see. I'm sure I've forgotten things that I am intending to pick up as well. So yeah, do you think I can do it? We shall see. Thank you so much for watching.